Public hearing will come to order. We have 3 items on public hearing tonight. The first is TP Ordinance 2204, an ordinance placing 15-mile-per-hour speed limit signs and drive like your kids live here signs on Marie Court in District 2. Anyone here to speak on that item? The next one is TP Ordinance 2205, an ordinance to authorize a cooperative endeavor agreement by and between the Tangipahoa Parish Council, President, and Laranja Dixie Baseball Incorporated concerning the Laranja Recreation District number 104. The next one is TP Ordinance 2206, an ordinance to grant a variance to Tangipahoa Parish Code of Ordinances, Chapter 5. This is the location of establishments restricted for Haveis Investments, LLC, doing business as the original Chookies and Oyster Bar. Okay, we'll go ahead and move into our regular business meeting. If you have a cell phone, please mute it or turn it off at this time. We'll have invocation by Mr. Joseph, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Mr. David VL. Please stand.
Let's bow our heads, please. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the many, many blessings we've received. We thank you for our health. We thank you for our strength. We thank you for our peace of mind. We thank you for our families, and we thank you for our friends. We all pray and ask for warmth and comfort for the Ukrainians, especially the women, the elderly, and the children, all those who are caught up but have not done a thing wrong. Please bless them, Lord. We ask that you bless this meeting tonight by giving the leadership all the wisdom and the knowledge and understanding to make all those decisions that are pleasing in your sight. And we will be very mindful to give you all the honor, all the glory, and all the praise. We ask that you continue to support and protect all those who put themselves in harm's way so that we may enjoy a very safe day. Namely, our police officers, our healthcare workers, and all those, the military, all those who place themselves in harm's way so that we may enjoy the freedoms we enjoy today. And Lord, as we leave this place, but never your grace, we ask that you give us guidance, safe travels back to our various homes and our various abodes. We will be mindful again to give you all the honor, all the glory, and all the praise, for we love you. All those within the sound of my voice responded by saying, Amen.
Yeah, with all active in military and veterans, please render the proper salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Zoo, would you call roll, please?
Mr. Forrest.
Present.
Mr. Ingraffia.
Present.
Mr. Joseph.
Present.
Mr. Bruno.
Here.
Mr. Richtel.
Here.
Mr. Mayhew.
Here.
Mr. Wells.
Here.
Mr. Vial.
Here.
Ms. Hyde.
Here.
Ms. Coates. Here.
Okay, hopefully everyone's had a chance to look over the minutes that were emailed to them from our February 28th meeting. If there are no questions or corrections, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Madam Chairman, I move that we accept the minute.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Wells, second by Mr. VL. Roll call, please.
Mr. Ingraffia.
Yeah.
Mr. Joseph.
Yes.
Mr. Bruno.
Yes.
Mr. Richtel.
Yes.
Mr. Mayhew.
Yes.
Mr. Wells.
Yes.
Mr. Vial.
Yes.
Ms. Hyde.
Yes.
Ms. Coates.
Yes.
Mr. Forrest.
Yes.
Okay, public input. Is there anyone wishing to address an agenda item that was not on public hearing? If not, we'll have Kim. Do you want to lead the introduction of our new board?
Yes, so I would actually like each of the board members to stand and actually come to the podium and introduce yourselves to the board, if you don't mind. Dory, you want to start? Yeah.
And we'll get y'all on TV.
I'm Dory St. Cyr. This is my second term on the board, I guess. And I represent Keep Hammond Beautiful also. So.
And are you, I don't know the new officers, so you'll have to kind of remind me if you were voted one of the officers as well.
Hi,
Hi, I'm EJ for Godstone, and I am representing Buddy Ridgedale's district. Thank you.
Hi, I'm David Dirks, representing District 9. It's good to be with you. It's good to serve our community.
Hi, I'm Robin Spears. I'm representing District 2.
Good evening, I'm Lisa W., and I'm representing District 8, and I was voted secretary.
Thank you all. Ginger, will you, can you come up to the podium?
Let me add one more.
Sure.
Committee. Letha Cook is also a member representing District 3, but we had a mix-up with the email. She would have been here, so, but next time we meet, actually tomorrow night, she'll be at the meeting. Thank you all.
And Miss Linda McMillan, District 10, she couldn't be here tonight as well. But Ginger, is there anyone else that we're missing? You want to come to the podium?
Mr. Ron Harrell, and he represents District 1 Trent's Forest, and he is our new president. So he was unable to be with us tonight. Okay?
Will you give the board just a quick update of what's going on with the board and what we're doing?
Well, we're working on getting the litter picked up in the parish, along with the parish. But no, we have a lot of good things going on. The main thing we're working on right now is Love the Boot, which is April the 23rd, which is going to be statewide, which is going to be parish-wide, that we're really pushing that. That's probably our biggest thing we have going on right now. And of course, I'm back in the schools. I mean, that's kind of really, Mr. John gave y'all a rundown of the grants we have going on. So that's really what we got going on. Do y'all have any questions for me?
Thank you for your work.
Thank you, Bruno. Thank you.
I know you don't get a lot of that, but.
Well, I thank you, thank you, thank you. I do, but thank you very much. Thank you.
Ditto here. Y'all do a great job.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
And to the board, we want to thank you all for volunteering to serve and to help and, you know, keep the parish beautiful. So we definitely thank y'all for coming tonight and stuff. So we appreciate all of you. And if Robbie, if you have anything.
That's definitely the one thing we don't run out of, trash.
Trash. And I know I'm looking this way, but I do want to make sure that I thank all of you and I appreciate all the work you do. I know that it is sometimes frustrating, but it is rewarding. It's noticed when we get out there and take care of it. And it's not just picking up trash. There's other things that y'all do that help us get the grants for the trash cans, help us to get other educational pieces going. So we appreciate that. It makes a difference, even though when somebody stops you at Home Depot and says, you got a trashy parish, I know that it's not true, but I know that we're working on it and that people all over the place do it. But it's sometimes thankless, but we do thank you and we appreciate you. Thank you very much. Y'all can stay or go. I mean, this is an exciting meeting. It's very, very exciting. Anybody else?
I just want to say thank y'all for coming out.
Robbie, you have your report for us?
I'm ready.
All right, go ahead.
All right. The first item that I have is adoption of a Tangipahoa Parish Resolution 2205, a resolution authorizing the parish president to enter into a cooperative endeavor agreement with the Florida Parish's Juvenile Justice District and us for funding of the installation of a sensory room that'll be located at the Tangipahoa Juvenile Justice Center, along with training and personnel of the 21st Judicial District Court. This sensory room is a space that the children, the juveniles, that will be used for them while they're waiting to go to court or hearings. It's to help de-escalate the stressful situations those children are having to go through that they're involved with. It will be created at the Justice Center here in Amite, and it's about $34,000, which is coming from the Florida Parish's Juvenile Justice District, just being housed in our building. But we have to do an agreement because it's our building and they're doing some improvements to it. So
I so move, Madam Chair.
Second here.
I have a motion by Mr. Wells, second by Mr. VL. Roll call, please.
Mr. Joseph?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Richtel?
Yes.
Mr. Mayhew?
Yes.
Mr. Wells?
Yes.
Mr. Vial?
Yes.
Ms. Hyde?
Yes.
Ms. Coates?
Yes.
Mr. Forrest?
Yes.
Mr. Ingraffia?
Yes.
Thank you. The next item is approval of the bids for the Phase 22 overlay program. Barrier Construction was the low bidder. We did receive 2 bids. The low bid is $7,297,992.81. So everything came back okay with the, with the bid as far as their bond and everything that they needed to do. We've used Barrier in the past, and are we using them right now or no? We're switching back to them. We're switching back to them from RJ Daigle.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Forrest, second by Mr. Joseph. Roll call, please.
Yes, sir.
I only show RJ Daigle's bid.
The paper, it's something to do with the Adobe Reader. If you look at the actual paper or on a different device, it'll show through. It's highlighted.
It's showing up on some and not on others.
So how much difference?
Almost $200,000 roughly.
Okay.
I think last year it was only off by like a few dollars. Yeah.
I'm sorry, is it my vote?
Are you ready? Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Richtel?
Yes.
Mr.
Yes.
Mayhew?
Yes.
Mr. Wells?
Yes.
Mr. Vial?
Yes.
Ms. Hyde?
Yes.
Ms. Coates?
Yes.
Mr. Forrest?
Yes.
Mr. Ingraffia?
Yes.
Mr. Joseph?
Yes.
I have one road-related question. The rehab routes, that's the way they're documented here?
The RPC.
That's not in this bid?
That's
I
not
know-
in the
I know.
bid, no, sir.
But could you give us a little background on how we got there?
Okay, so what Mr. Vial's talking about is the Regional Planning Commission is going to do overlay on some of our roads. They have to qualify as federal routes. There's a list, I'm pretty sure it's 32 of our roads actually are qualified for that program. We went through the Regional Planning Commission in New Orleans. It's probably a 4-year project now. They go out and look at all the roads, do a study, and rank them worst to least problematic. We started at the top of the list, picked number 1, and went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think it's 6 we ended up getting to.
5
that we got to with the dollars that were available. It's a little over $3 million. The program, because it's federal money and DOTD is involved, DOTD chose to take the contract and issue the contract. I actually signed it today, this morning. So in the last week or so, they got it all put together. So we expect that work to begin in almost, we're going to have, and I'm pretty sure that was RJ Daigle. So we're going to have both crews out there doing a good bit of work in the parish for 2 different contracts though. And the idea is we've gone back to RPC asking for more money to just keep on going down the list. And we're in that process, right, Wesley? Yeah, it just, again, this first time took 4 years. Hopefully the next one comes a little quicker. Okay. The next item that I have is approval of bids for the construction of landfill cell number 15. Unfortunately, we did not receive any bids when we went out for bid, and no bids were received. So I'm actually going to ask to actually seek to rebid it, and we're changing it up a little bit to try and make it where more contractors will be willing to do it.
Do we need a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
We have a motion by Ms. Coates, second by Mr. VL to rebid that. Roll call, please.
Mr. Richtel?
Yes.
Mr. Mayhew?
Yes.
Mr. Wells?
Yes.
Mr. Vial?
Yes.
Ms. Hyde?
Yes.
Ms. Coates?
Yes.
Mr. Forrest?
Yes.
Mr. Ingraffia?
Yes.
Mr. Joseph?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Thank you. The next one is approval of a memorandum of understanding between the state of Louisiana and Tangipahoa Parish government for a temporary right-of-way for access to remove debris on state highways within the parish. This allows us to go get the debris that, if y'all all remember, DOTD stopped picking up debris a couple of months ago. Well, there's still debris on the road. I think most of y'all can identify where it is. Instead of letting our citizens have to suffer with having it sit there and deteriorate or take care of it themselves, we've decided that we would go pick it up, and this allows us to do so.
So we get to do the state's job, is that what you're telling us?
That's what it sounds like to me, yes, sir.
Also move.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Mr. VL, second by Mr. Wells. Roll call, please.
Mr. Mayhew?
Yes.
Mr. Wells?
Yes.
Mr. Vial?
Yes.
Ms. Hyde?
Yes.
Ms. Coates?
Yes.
Mr. Forrest?
Yes.
Mr. Graffia?
Yes.
Mr. Joseph?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno? Mr. Richtel?
Yes.
Thank you. Item number, the next item, I think it's 6, yes. Actually, we don't have to take any action on it. I thought we were gonna have to go out for bid to replace this bridge. The first estimates were putting it in the $300,000+. We've decided to go with 2 rail cars, and by doing that, we have a proposal from Lawson, Bonnet, and Hammond to put the 2 rail cars in place and finish it at $169,000 to fix it so it comes in under the public works project, so we can just get it done that way. It's expected to be finished to be open for the first week or so of April if the weather holds up and they can get everything comes in time. Then we'll drive on it for about 3 weeks, and then we'll have to close it again for a day or 2 to actually put the final overlay over it. So the compaction for the 3 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. So it'll be the end of April into maybe middle of May before it's finally finished. But it should be open in the first week of April.
It's not going to have head walls because it's piped, so it's going to be extended longer, so it's not going to have head walls. Tank cars. It's round tank cars that are going to be. Oh, it's tank cars. Cars, yeah.
Yeah, tank cars. Yes, they're tank rail cars, but yeah. Yes, sir.
And I want to thank Wesley and all the guys and the crews. When I called them that morning, they were out there and closed it down before anybody got hurt, like really quick. So I thank everyone for jumping on that pretty quickly.
All right. A couple other notes, because that was actually a note. The debris is still being picked up. The last round's going on. Remember, debris passing, if they pass up with a debris truck for construction debris and or trees and limbs, that last pass, that's over. There's nobody coming back to pick up any more. The stumps are still being picked up. They're going to take a little longer. They may come pick up, they may come trim some, pick up some, but the stumps are a different contract. They're a little bit more problematic. So I guess we need to know if they come and pick up 3 out of 4 or 2 out of 3 or something, let us know to make sure that they come back, but they are supposed to be coming back for all the stumps. It's a little problematic.
What about the state roads? We don't know anything yet?
I don't have any information on the state roads about stumps, but I would figure they're either they're done or they're in the same boat. But we're not going to be able to pick them. I don't see us picking them up yet.
Do you think they might come back and fund that to pick it up?
As of right now, they're not.
Because we have a few still out there.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Robbie, any update on the wiring that is still everywhere?
I had somebody report to me the other day that they were somewhere on Highway 22 picking it up. So somebody's starting to pick it up. And again, they told us call Charter, call AT&T. You got to call everybody and tell. And you can tell us and we'll call. But the more calls those companies get from our citizens and from us may make them go get it. I know some, in Hammond, just in downtown Hammond, where there's piles right by the road, been there for a long time, the whole time.
Yeah, I still got some strung across driveways and everywhere, so.
I got a question. Robbie, I know you attended the police jury convention. Can you give us a rundown on the broadband service that you chaired?
Yes, sir. The GUMBO, the State Broadband Commission, should be in the next, they tell us not too long, so I'm expecting probably not more than about 30 days will be awarded for the agencies, the internet service providers who were awarded various parishes. I feel very good about ours. Vineeth Ivangar, who's the director of that department, he calls and talks to us about ideas and things that we've done for our broadband loop. He actually made me talk about it the other day because I was just going to kind of let it go, and he asked me to give everybody an update on it so that they had ideas on what we were doing. I think we're way ahead of a lot of places. I think the idea, when I say we, Louisiana is way ahead, it sounds like. There are pockets, though, in our state that are way behind Tangipahoa Parish in even having internet, first of all, and then in their understanding of what they have to do to go get it. So I think we're in pretty good shape to add a lot of our citizens having broadband, especially when we get the GUMBO. I hope so.
Robbie, I have one question about
Yes, sir.
another subject is lighting. I know there's a meeting Wednesday, lighting inspection summary. Do you have any details of that? I mean, I'd like to get it out to the public. I mean, I'm getting a lot of calls around lights. I'm sure everybody else is too.
Yeah, remember they told us all for everybody to call them in, so to Entergy, but. And
we did a survey, I know.
Yeah, and and I have to get an update from Wesley.
Okay.
Yeah, we actually finished up the summary on it last week, and I've got the outline that I'm gonna present to everybody at the Wednesday meeting, and it describes all of the outages, all of the missing poles, and the discrepancies in the pole numbers. So there's a lot that we're gonna have to discuss with Energy to try to get this straight.
And I'm assuming we're gonna have Energy give us some kind of report out on a regular basis as far as how many are out, how many we're fixing. Maybe we need to I don't mind putting it on the council agenda every 2 weeks and get them here if we need to.
Well, I have an exact count on them. We spent right at 5 weeks.
I know it was took a lot of work to do it, but then we need to have they need to have a plan on what's the projection.
I have an idea that about tracking them once a month.
Yes.
Instead of in lieu of once a year. I have an idea that I want to present to you guys about doing it once a month. So that way we can keep up with this each month.
Yeah, it's tough. It really is.
Yeah.
And I know after Ida there was just, I don't know how many were out. I'm still getting a number of calls every day.
Wesley, on the state roads as far as the lighting, have we got to bring the state back into all this again, or can we just work through Energy and Demco or whoever?
Correct. Any lighting, any road lighting that was in each district, which is 7 districts, any lighting that was within the district that we are paying for, they are on the list, whether if it's a state highway or a parish road.
Okay.
Both of them. So.
As long as it's in one of our lighting districts.
Correct.
Correct. Okay, thank you.
Anything else? Well, y'all have a good evening. Happy
you.
St. Patty's Day.
All right, regular business, item 7, adoption of TP Ordinance 2204, an ordinance placing a 15-mile-an-hour speed limit sign and drive like your kids live here sign on Marie Court in District 2.
I'll make that motion. Second.
Motion by Mr. Ingraffia, second by Mr. Forrest. Roll call, please.
Mr. Vial?
Yes.
Ms. Hyde?
Yes.
Ms. Coates?
Yes.
Mr. Forrest?
Yes.
Mr. Ingraffia?
Yes.
Mr. Joseph?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno? Mr. Richtel?
Yes.
Mr. Mayhew?
Yes.
Mr. Wells?
Yes.
Adoption of TP Ordinance 2205, an ordinance to authorize a cooperative endeavor agreement by and between the Tangipahoa Parish Council President and Laranja Dixie Baseball Incorporated concerning Laranja Rec District number 104.
So moved, and we do have some signature lines on that, correct, Jill, for the proper people to sign off on that agreement?
Yes. That has to go back to the attorneys.
I got it. Because we're gonna have to get a hold of them and let them send in their representative, okay? All right.
Second.
Okay, have a motion by Mr. Bruno, second by Mr. Ingraffia. Roll call, please.
Ms. Hyde?
Yes.
Ms. Coates?
Yes.
Mr. Forrest?
Yes.
Mr. Ingraffia?
Yes.
Mr. Joseph?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Richtel?
Yes.
Mr. Mayhew?
Yes.
Mr. Wells?
Yes.
Mr. Vial?
Yes.
Item 10, adoption of TP Ordinance 2207, an ordinance adopting and enacting, did I skip one? Yes, I did. Item 9, adoption of TP Ordinance 2206, an ordinance to grant a variance to Tangipahoa Parish Code of Ordinances, Chapter 5, Section 5-38, location of establishments restricted for Haveis Investments, LLC, doing business as the original Chookies and Oyster Bar.
Also move, Madam Chair.
All right, we have a motion by Mr. Wells, second by Mr. Ridgel. Roll call, please.
Ms. Coates?
Yes.
Mr. Forrest?
Yes.
Mr. Ingraffia?
Yes.
Mr. Joseph?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Richtel?
Yes.
Mr. Mayhew?
Yes.
Mr. Wells?
Yes.
Mr. Vial?
Yes.
Ms. Hyde?
Yes. All right. Adoption of TP Ordinance 2207, an ordinance adopting and enacting a new code for Tangipahoa Parish, Louisiana, providing for the repeal of certain ordinances not including therein, providing a penalty for the violation thereof, providing for the manner of amending such code, and providing when such code and this ordinance shall become effective. So this is just adopting our new code of ordinances.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All right, have a motion by Mr. VL, second by Mr. Mayhew. Roll call, please.
Mr. Forrest?
Yes.
Mr. Graffia?
Yes.
Mr. Joseph?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno? Mr. Richtel?
Yes.
Mr. Mayhew?
Yes.
Mr. Wells?
Yes.
Mr. Vial?
Yes.
Ms. Hyde?
Yes.
Ms. Coates?
Yes.
All right, item 11, introduction of TP Ordinance 2208, an ordinance amending and enacting Chapter 17, Planning and Development, Article 5, Standards for Development of Property, Section 17, 5.2, Special Classification Property Development Standards, A, mobile/manufactured home placement on a single lot.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, have a motion by Mr. Mayhew, second by Ms. Coates. Roll call, please.
Mr. Graffia?
Yes.
Mr. Joseph?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Richtel?
Yes.
Mr. Mayhew?
Yes.
Mr. Wells?
Yes.
Mr. Vial?
Yes.
Ms. Hyde?
Yes.
Ms. Coates?
Yes.
Mr. Forrest?
Yes.
Introduction of TP Ordinance 2209, an ordinance amending and enacting Chapter 17, Planning and Development, Article 5, Standards for Development of Property, Section 17, 5.5, Special Use Residential Commercial Developments, C, Multifamily, and D, Residential Intermediate Care/Placement Facility Standards.
So move.
Second.
Have a motion by Mr. VL, second by Ms. Coates. Roll call, please.
Mr. Joseph?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno? Mr. Richtel?
Yes.
Mr. Mayhew?
Yes.
Mr. Wells?
Yes.
Mr. Vial?
Yes.
Ms. Hyde?
Yes.
Ms. Coates?
Yes.
Mr. Forrest?
Yes.
Mr. Graffia?
Yes.
Right. We have one appointment to the Industrial Development Board. This is Mr.
I'd like
Forrest.
to make the appointment of Mr.
Okay.
Kenny Williams. All should have the paperwork on your desk.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Forrest, second by Mr. Wells. Roll call, please.
Mr. Bruno? Mr. Richtel?
Yes.
Mr. Mayhew?
Yes.
Mr. Wells?
Yes.
Mr. Vial?
Yes.
Ms. Hyde?
Yes.
Ms. Coates?
Yes.
Mr. Forrest?
Yes.
Mr. Graffia?
Yes.
Mr. Joseph?
Yes.
Okay, we have one item under beer, wine, and liquor. They did not meet the requirements, so that will be pulled tonight. Any legal matters? No. Okay. Before I open the floor for councilman's privileges, I want to say something before Mr. Joseph steals my thunder. The Ponchatoula girls on March... Huh? Thank you, Robbie. On March the 5th, the Ponchatoula High girls basketball team won the state championship in double overtime by 1 point. And I want to thank Robbie for being there, and Mr. Joseph. We had a lot of support. Kim and Joe and I were all on the court together, and it was the most exciting game I've ever seen in my life. It was just crazy. But Mr. Joseph, I'll let you go next.
I want to congratulate the Amy Warriors girls for winning the state championship. And Rob and I and some others had the privilege of watching the boys in the semifinal game. They won that game. But they were hard and strong, but we lost the final. But it's still a big accomplishment just to get to the championship game. So congratulations to those kids. We need to find a day and time we can bring them before the council. Bridget, maybe you and I can coordinate?
We will.
Okay. Good luck, guys.
They didn't get everything to the sheriff's office.
Yeah, Allison said that they didn't finish the list, and I checked with them on Friday, and then I checked back again with them on Monday. Well, the first time on Thursday, and they didn't finish it so they hadn't finished everything, all the requirements.
All right. Any other councilman's privileges? If not, Mr. Wells, I will entertain your motion.
Madam Chairman, I make the motion that we adjourn this meeting and ask that we will please keep the people in Ukraine in our prayers, and maybe God would touch the heart of Putin like he did Nebuchadnezzar, and he would back off a little bit. So
I think one of those rockets needs to touch Putin.
Yeah, well, I mean, that would be ideal, but if you can touch his heart, that would make a difference.
I'd like to wish Mr. Wells a happy birthday also.
One other comment, Madam Chair. I'd just like to thank everybody for all the birthday wishes and all the comments, and next year, I'll thank them for all the gifts.